So I can make this real easy. You don't need a box. You just need some eggs, some flour. I'm using 00 flour. That's the best kind for this application. But regular all-purpose flour is absolutely fine. And you see I have it in my sealed zip-top bag. This is semolina flour. So I use a combination of the 00 and the semolina. It gives it a little more chew. But to be honest, you could use all of the 00 or all-purpose flour. That's perfectly okay. It's a combination you see more in northern Italy. In southern Italy, they use more of the semolina style. But I like a combination of the both. Works for me. So simple ratio. So one of these. So I use 1 egg to 3 cups or 3/4 of a cup of flour. And I might add a little olive oil, extra virgin only, please. So that's how simple this is. You'll notice I'm using my KitchenAid mixer here. So you don't have to use the grandma method, which is make a volcano of flour, have the crater in the middle, and you stir the eggs in and incorporate the flour, and then you make the ball and knead it for 15 minutes by hand. By the way, great forearm workout, but or great for the kids. But let's say you want faster, like box faster. Okay, here's how you do it. So I start with my liquid ingredients, my eggs. I'm going to make enough, and it's usually the ratio is about 1 egg and 3/4 cups of flour per person, roughly. And this is like not an exact science all the time. So if your dough is a little dry, you add a little more liquid. You can add some water or another egg. If your dough is a little wet, you can add some more flour. But I'm going to have 4 eggs. No salt, please. Tempting at a lot of these stages for people to add salt. I salt my water, which is the traditional way when you make noodles. You salt your water. It's supposed to taste like the sea, they say. I thankfully haven't tasted the sea, but my dog was just tasting it this morning. And in his estimation, it tastes pretty good, but I'm not trying it. So you'll see in my mixing bowl here, I have 4 eggs. That's my cat in the background on his tree. 4 eggs. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. So the olive oil makes it just a little supple. Has a little suppleness to the dough. So now I need to measure. I use my measuring cup. But if I didn't want to use it, this is a handy tool. So before I do that, I set up my mixer and I have my dough hook on it. My dough hook attachment here. And I give it a stir. I just want to break the eggs up a little bit. And mix in that oil. Okay, so I got them stirred. Now, what I can do is start adding my dough. Now, there's 1, 2, 3. Alternatively, this size. 1, 2, and that's 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now I'm going to mix in the semolina. This is just my taste. You don't have to. You don't have to at all. But this is my taste. So, and I add 1, 2, and 3. Stir. So kind of like a bread dough. I have it on the stir setting, and right now it's just incorporating the wet ingredients into the dry. So those eggs are being incorporated into the flour. Important thing to do is to let it stir. Don't rush it. Give the dough some time to incorporate that moisture. And I'll pick this up so you can see. I can just change this. You'll see over here how that looks. And now I can start to increase the speed. You see how the dough is coming together? Notice I've used my entire lazy pasta technique here. I've not had to use my hands to knead or mix anything. Coming together, it should look like this, and we keep mixing. Now, what you may notice is that it stays in this breadcrumb stage, or it looks like little breadcrumbs or something for a while. And one of the things is our general proportions, right? That semolina is a little extra dry. So I may need to add a little extra moisture to this to get that semolina to bond and for this to form a dough ball. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to add some more liquid ingredients. Probably just one more egg. And please do crack your eggs on a flat surface so you don't put salmonella into your eggs. And I'm probably going to add just a little more olive oil. Just a little bit. And continue to stir. And this is not the greatest filming job, but what you'll see here is immediately what's happened. And now I can really start to watch this combine and form into a ball. It's a very simple technique. It really is. It's like what you're looking for is just combining your liquid and your dry ingredients so it forms a ball. If it's too dry, add some more egg or some more olive oil or some water. If it's too wet, add some more flour. It's that simple. Just don't over add, because then just a little bit at a time and see how it goes. You see I'm forming a ball now, and what that's doing, so the constant kneading, just like bread, right? The kneading just forms the ball and makes strands of proteins called gluten. Now you'll notice I get my wrapping, my plastic wrap here. I don't use it for much, but I use it for this. Go. How much we need that? the hook. I've incorporated a ball. So I have a nice dough ball here. It's not sticking to my hands, notice that? So if it's sticking to my hands, it's too sticky. So I'm going to form this into the ball. Now, when you feel it, it feels like you're squeezing like a slightly mushy softball. So I form it into the ball, onto the plastic wrap. I wrap it up, and I'm going to use this as soon as it's ready. So I'm going to let this rest for about 20 to 30 minutes. And why? So you've just incorporated a bunch of protein, eggs, right, into this dough. You've made it a dough, you've kneaded it, and in the process you're creating gluten, which can make a very tough piece of dough here. So what you need to do now is start to allow that to relax. And I'm doing it at room temperature because I'm going to use this right after. Remember, there are raw eggs in here. So if you wait too long, that's not good. So if you're not going to use this right away, once you make your ball, pop it in the refrigerator, pull it out, let it come to room temperature, 20-30 minutes. Then you can work it. And you'll see how supple and easy it is to work. So this ball of dough can be used to make anything, from raviolis, linguine, to fettuccine noodles. And in this case, I'm going to be making lasagna. So right here. So actually, one of the things you can do while you wait for this is you can start a pot of water, a big pot of boiling water. And by the time it comes up to boil, get it ready, start boiling it in about 10 minutes. By the time it comes up to boil and is ready to go, you'll have this ready. Or you can wait and start boiling the water while you roll this out.